Hello, all of my lovely people out there. Today we're going to work more on our factoring foldable. Make sure you have this guy out. Okay, we've been going down the list and we are going to now do factoring our trinomials, so ax squared plus bx plus c, when a is not 1. So when that number in front of x squared, when that number in front of x squared is not a 1. Okay, so that's what we're going over today. We're really only going to do one example because the process is pretty much identical as you go through. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So I'm going to scroll up here a little bit. So this is the page of our foldable that we're on, but I'm going to scroll up so we see the top here. Okay, so big thing here, you should always check for a greatest common factor first, because sometimes it might be possible that you can take out a greatest common factor and now you no longer have a is greater than 1. Or I guess I should say a is not 1. Sometimes that's really helpful. The example that we're going to do right now is not going to have that as the case, right? You're not going to be able to take out a greatest common factor, but sometimes you will be able to. So just always check that first. Okay, so we're going to write down our example, which is 2x squared plus 17x plus 21. So when I look at this, I don't have a greatest common factor, right? There's no number that goes into 2, 17, and 21 that I can take out. So I'm just going to have to solve this using my steps here on the left. So the first step says to multiply your ax squared times c. Keeping in mind that, I'm going to scroll down real quick, your ax squared is your first term, right? Your c is your second term. So keep that in mind as we do this. Okay, so that's my first step, is I'm going to take my first term, which is 2x squared, and I'm going to multiply it by my last term, which is 21. And that gives me 42x squared. And that number is going to be very helpful here, okay? Then step 2 says find two numbers that multiply to your ax squared times c, which I just found, and add to bx. So this is the x part of the x box method, right? Up here goes my ax squared times c, and then on the bottom goes my bx. And I'm trying to find two numbers that multiply to the top and add to the bottom. So in this case, my numbers are 42x squared is on the top, and my bx is 17x. Okay, so I'm trying to find two numbers that multiply to 42 and add to 17. And off the top of my head, I don't know, so I'm going to start making a list. I know that I'm multiplying to a positive number, which means that my two numbers either have to both be positive or both be negative. But I'm adding to a positive number. So that tells me that both my numbers have to be positive. So when I say like 1 and 42, I don't have to write -1, -42, because I know that my two numbers have to be positive. So 1 and 42 is not going to add to 17, right? 2 and 21 does not add to 17. 3 and 14, that does add to 17. So those are going to be my two numbers. So I'm going to plug in a 3x and a 14x. Oops, x. Once I have that, then I'm going to go ahead and do my reverse box method. Right? And so in the box, in the top left, we do our ax squared term, whatever that is. And then in the bottom right is our c term. And then whatever these numbers are, fill in there. Okay? So in this problem, here's my box. My ax squared term in this problem is 2x squared. So 2x squared goes in the top left. My c is 21, so that goes in the bottom right. And then I'm going to fill in with these other two. And it doesn't matter. You can write the 3x here or you can write the 14x here. It doesn't matter. Okay, but that's just the way that I'm going to do it. And then I asked myself, what is the greatest common factor of this top row? Right here, the GCF. There we go. Okay, so I have a 2 and a 3, so I can't, there's no number I can take out of 2 and 3. But I do have one x in both, so I can take out an x. And if I had 2x squared, but I took out one x, I should be left with 2x. Right? And then here I had a 3x, but I took out an x, so I'm left with 3. I had a 14x, but I took out a 2x, so I should be left with 7. And then check your work is 7 times 3, 21. And in this case, it is. So my final answer would be x plus 7, because it's a positive 7, and 2x plus 3, because it's a positive 3. And I have factored my equation, or my expression, excuse me. And I factored, and I'm done. Okay, so biggest thing is just filling in these two numbers, right? Trying to find two numbers that multiply to the top and add to the bottom. And then doing that reverse box method that we learned back in Algebra 1. We were only going to do one example here, so this is it. Use this example kind of as your guide. Make sure you check for a greatest common factor first. If you need any help or questions come up and you don't know what to do, just reach out to me. And we will work on this more in class, and you'll have opportunities to ask questions in class, but please feel free to email me or message me if you have any questions at all. And we'll see you later.